All right, hello again, and welcome back to Should Have Turned Left. I'm Ben, Canadianized on the forums, at the Canadianized on Twitter.
Frank Nazareth.
This is the night that Trollblood Scrum is recording, and I've somehow managed to steal the rock of their podcast over here tonight.
They actually, from what I saw, have been working on a burrower video. So I was just playing burrowers, and they were working on the burrower video instead.
So we have actual tech. Anyways, today I'm back with my Thagrosh 1 list. Ravagore, Shredder, Shepherd, Lightbringer. 2 units of War Spears with UA, 2 Strider Deathstalkers. Pretty simple.
And I've got Madrak 2. I'm trying to play more infantry, so we've got burrowers, long riders, Gatorman Posse. This time I've got Saxon, a Witchstock, and Fellcaller for my solos, and then I also have Runebearer, Mauler, Axer for battle group.
So, scenario we're playing is Incursion. The scenario that Privateer Press has put in their book, and for some reason still doesn't seem like they've gone right. So, Frank, you won the die roll, right?
Yeah, so you got to choose side, but I felt it was pretty important to get a jump on this scenario.
Yeah. So, going second, I opted for the side with the hill that I could maybe get my Blightbringer on at some point, and then at that point, nothing can hide from it. I love huge bases on hills.
Yeah, so in my deployment, I'm doing a split deployment where I'm intermixing my units, and that's pretty much because he has prey, but you would also do this whenever you face like units that might be good versus single wound and units that might be good versus multi-wound, where you don't really want to telegraph to your opponent where they're going, so you have to actually intermix them to kind of actually be able to shift if you do decide you want to crisscross. So intermixing something that's just a little bit different, you just kind of use the limits of your command range.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also good if you've got something with a melee troop and a ranged troop, which burrowers are 80, so that doesn't really matter. But
yeah, something in red that would be very common, where you want to be able to move up and shoot with your shooters, and then charge in after with your melee guys. So you would intermix there as well. That way that you can activate the units independent of each other and still occupy roughly the same central board space.
Yeah, and I don't know, using your command range to its extremes is something I don't see too many people do anyways. In a scenario like this where you have to spread out so far, you almost need to be able to do that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's, as you say, it's not something that you see terribly frequently. Here, I think we see it maybe more common here because I believe you and I did it a lot. I did a lot early on when I played infantry. Then I stopped playing infantry. So
when I was playing Rhett, you were the one that taught me about it, and that was when I started
with your
using
Cassius list. I remember the intermix on the Cassius list.
I learned it playing Retribution, and then I have pretty much always done it with Cassius, just intermixing my Silene Rifle Nis Hunters with whatever melee units I have at that point. God, that's changed too many times.
Yeah.
I need to play that list on this channel. I need to get Miranda over and play that list.
Well, we'll see if you can actually still play that list on a clock, because
infantry's
been scarce lately.
It has. Yeah, mixing deployment when you have 2 units of the same thing, not even worth it.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'll just break up my War Spears on either side because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I end up...
And so also a huge base kind of screws it over.
Does kind of screw it over. But anyways, I end up praying the Long Riders with both units just because I know they're going to be up further forward. Don't really need the hit buff I don't really need the hit buff in general against your list, except maybe Gators. But
Dirge Gators.
I need the armor more than anything, so I just picked the unit that I figured was going to be furthest forward first. Mauler, you probably weren't going to commit until you could get to the Blightbringer, considering it's your only source of RFP.
Yeah. Yeah, Mauler was going to have to play back for a while. So I've thrown the burrowers in the trench. Since you gave me the side with the trench, I was going to use it.
Oh god, that ended up haunting me.
Yeah, and I mean this is a situation where normally I would want to burrow this turn, really just so that I don't give him the chance to take away 4 burrowers, because losing 4 burrowers, it can kind of suck. Of course, I could stop it with 1 tough check, or 2 tough checks really.
Yeah.
But it's not something you really want to gamble on. But with this trench, I felt that you needed high enough numbers. You needed 9. I'm a 17. You're an 8.
Yep.
So I felt it was good enough to where I could get a few extra inches on my pop-up.
Yeah, 9s to hit. It's not even worth trying unless. Well, it's worth trying if I have the Snapfire shot.
Yeah.
If it's my first one, it's
not
worth
off
it.
the primary shot.
Yeah. Anyways, there I moved the prey tokens to the same guy just to make more sense for myself, really. Long Riders, but... Oh, this...
And here I'm also fainting again with Long Riders, because I don't really want you to know where I want them to go.
Yeah.
So they are still fairly central, and they could move to either flag at this point.
Oh yeah, they're fast enough to go anywhere they want to, for sure.
Yeah, I want you to move and make your commitments before I really show where I want my Long Riders to be. And so same with Mauler, I want him centrally. And the last few times we've played this, you've learned to throw bad blood onto the Mauler.
Yes, I have learned that Thagrosh has a spell that stops stacking.
Yeah,
it is useful.
So from the beginning, the idea was to say, "Here's my Mauler. Come toward this area, Thagrosh."
No.
And then I'm gonna shift him, because if I shift him to the other side of your huge base, you have a hard time repositioning and getting over to him. Yeah.
I still stop snacking, but at the same time, because I don't have any spell martyrs or any other way of channeling spells,
you have to
in
get
order
within
to
10.
hit the Mauler, I'm within 10, and then there are Long Riders that can also be feeded on me, and oh god, no.
Yeah.
No.
One bull rush slam or a crit knockdown, anything like that on you, and if I'm still holding the feed, it becomes really scary for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the range is, well, weird to think 10 inches is short for a spell. But,
yeah,
no.
That's a long-range spell.
Yeah. But considering threat ranges, I mean, oh god, even if burrowers are down, I can't even risk getting Thagrosh that close.
I mean, everything except shitty models have a 10-inch threat at least.
At least, yeah.
So, there are plenty of shitty models, just not
So I should say, for a spell that's not actually going to do any damage...
or a control factor. Like, if it's Saren throwing a Breast Stealer, she can probably get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
As long as she's hitting the main threat to her at that point. But.
Or freaking whichever Sorcerer makes a unit stationary.
Yeah. Or Sorcerer 1. Sorcerer 2, I think, just has the knockdown or whatever.
Okay.
But they might both have it. They probably do. It's been way too long since I played Khador, because I don't like playing infantry.
Been a little while since I played against Khador, for that matter.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so I'm running stuff more or less as far as I can take it. I mean, the Ravagore gets behind the wall because, hey, it's a wall. My Strider Deathstalkers, since you didn't put the burrowers down, it's more blocking line of sight from the Long Riders, honestly, than I'm keeping them behind that forest.
Yeah, you don't want to just give them away for nothing at this point.
God, I hate that unit. I hate going against that unit.
Yeah, I mean, Long Riders are definitely by far my favorite unit to play, and
with really good reason.
Yeah, I would say maybe Gatorman are my second. Just because of the versatility that the Gatorman have. If both attacks are reach, I might like them even more. But they're still one of my favorite units to play. So good thing Warders were nerfed and I can play them in more lists again.
Yeah, doesn't the Creel Stone hit harder than Warders now?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Good times for troll players. You can play your gators again, which is great. And actually, this list is sort of a variant on my first time at War Machine Weekend. I was watching Brian White play a game in the Twin Terrors event, and because I had already scrubbed out, I scrubbed out like round 3 or something like that. And Twin Terrors is 75.2 caster.
Oh God, 75.
Yeah, and you have independent battle groups. A lot of fun, but I saw Brian was playing a troll player who had Madrak 2, Gatorman Posse, Burrowers, and he had Fin Blades instead of Long Riders. Fuck the Fin
Long
Blades.
Riders are better.
Yeah, fuck the Fin Blades. But,
I wouldn't have minded against Fin Blades on this.
Yeah, but this list is kind of basically taken from that idea. Of course, he had Barnabas as a second caster, so he had a knockdown page and all that. But I like the way the army played and everything, having the Gatorman on the flank with Madrak 2, being able to Blood Fury them, all that. So
why is that spell not faction?
Because Fury isn't either.
God,
that's
that
why.
spell is amazing.
But yeah, so that's where this list sort of comes from. I just replaced Fin Blades with Burrowers, and obviously I don't have Barnabas in there. But I like the interaction that he was able to have with the Gatorman Posse and Madrak 2. So it's something that I've just kept playing with Madrak 2 when I do get around to playing it.
By the way, there was something that happened a long time ago already. Frank measuring 4 inches off the flag. You can measure 4 inches off the flag during your turn at any time, and we abused the shit out of that rule this game.
I mean, it's pretty damn abusable because flags are supposed to be more difficult to deal with and judge than zones, because a zone is very
defined.
Yeah, it's very defined.
You have the edges right there. You know exactly how big it is. You always have that measurement on the table, period.
So, and when you had circles, outflank, I think was the last. Is that one still around? Or
that one's still around.
So you still need circles just for that one scenario.
Yeah.
But when you had circles, it's the same thing. It's very defined. Flags, not so much. It took a lot more guesstimating. You would try and use your command to abuse it sometimes. You'd have a unit and you measure off the leader of the unit to a guy that's further away to kind of get an idea that you're still contesting. But now that you can just flat measure off of it,
I know, off of flags or objectives.
Yep, it is pretty good.
There are so many janky ways to pre-measure if you're aware of them.
So the flag's a medium base, so it's 1.58 inches?
5.6.
5.6. So 1.56 inches.
Or no, 1.52, sorry.
Okay.
Whatever.
It's pretty much 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And then you measure 4 inches off of either side of it, right? So you can do pretty much a 9.5 inch measurement, which is pretty damn cool. As long as you're aware of it and using the rule, you can really make some very tight positioning games, which I think we had here.
We did. There were a lot of tight calls. There was a lot of checking, double checking, trying to guesstimate the remainder of the distance to see what was what.
Yeah, to figure out charge ranges or move and shoot ranges or move and contest ranges, all that sort of stuff. To where if you're using the limits of your movement, you can still contest and see if you need to run, charge, whatever.
Yeah.
To get that contesting happening. So here I've shifted to abuse these the trenches that I was given. So fell callers in the trench, maulers in the trench.
That trench. Why did I put that there?
Axers in the trench.
I know why I put that there is to bounce out the table, but holy crap, I did not expect that.
Yeah, Madrak's going to move over into it as well. So I've got my gators just way over there. And I've said, stone, they don't care about that. And feet, they don't care about that. They only need the ability to get Blood Fury from me, so I'm not terribly worried about them being off on their own, along with Saxon and a Witch Dog kind of being in between. That way I can throw the Tough and Fearless wherever it needs to go, whether it's on Burrowers or on the Gatorman. And outside of that, I just shifted to deny one prey unit. I mean, you don't get any prey movement now on this turn, but on pretty much on the following turn, just so that you have to deal with having speed 5 models.
Yeah.
And so, you decide to prey one unit, so I'm gonna throw Gatorman into the other and make you regret it.
Yeah, I was a little sad to see all your tough load go to that side, but I figured, if I can assault into Gatorman on the way up, I can get, if I'm using either Draconic Blessing or the Blightbringer Aura, I can still be POW 15 if I stack them both 17 on assaults.
Yeah.
So if I can shoot at you while you're still armor 16, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah. Being able to hit them early, that's definitely good. I think overall they ended up trading well.
Yeah.
We'll see them attrition down over there.
They definitely do that.
And if you had to guess, what do you think wins? Blood Fury Gators versus a potential of Draconic Blessing and what's the Blightbringer's aura called?
+2 strength. Draconic Breath, I think. I think it's
Dragon Breath.
I don't know. Whatever. So, it's another dragon thing.
So what? He just has
I remember
terrible
it's
breath.
Withering Ash, and then whatever the hell the other thing is. Yeah, I know.
And terrible breath, and then he gives everyone extra strength and armor. Good job.
Yep.
But if you had to guess, which one do you think wins? Personally, I thought and banked on Gators.
Yeah.
Without Prey. Yeah.
Without Prey, I think Gators win.
I think it's like you kind of have 2 attacks with an assault and then a melee.
Yeah.
But once our lines are engaged, I always have 2 attacks.
Yeah.
So
I was more or less banking on the Bringer giving the armor buff where he can, and I had Thagrosh on that side. Also helping buff up the armor of War Spears because being armor 16 against Gator, flat out. So if it was just the 2 units and Prey wasn't involved, I think Gators win every time, period.
Yeah.
I have enough synergies in this list to actually make it a bit of a contest.
Yeah, between the Death Shroud, the Draconic Blessing, the Dragon Breath, all that sort of... And, of course, you're not just feeding me the entire unit.
No, hell no.
And I think this is common knowledge, but for any newer players, you might wonder why he's essentially limiting how many times he can hit me. But he's doing that because he knows he's going to get hit in return, and don't give away the entire unit, because he does outnumber me. It's 5 guys versus 6.
Yeah, but it's one of those, I don't have enough attacks to really be able to kill everything, and knowing that they have more attacks in melee once we're in, it's worth hanging back to be able to get a second round of assaults. That way I get 2 attacks one more time.
Exactly.
Or at least once.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. So don't feed away your entire unit.
No. And the other thought of it, because we see my other unit of War Spears going against the Tuffalo right here. Again, I'm layering them for pretty much the same reasons. Is I have the 2 guys up front. They're going to slow you down a little bit. At least one guy is contesting right now. My plan is to have other stuff contesting, so I don't just hand away that flag for free.
Yeah.
Because that's miserable. By the way, screw that trench. That AoE does nothing.
I mean, it got a few points of damage. I think it gets 2 points of damage on that tough blow. And I've also denied
that's from the shot, not the AoE itself.
Yeah, not
the AoE hits the fell collar, and you have no continuous effects or anything else. But
yeah, I did put up no continuous this turn because I did not want you to just come in and light everything on fire, pretty much.
Who'da thunk?
Yeah,
I'm playing Legion. Stuff lights on fire. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, I did make a solid command check on the first one, but your second Death Stride or Death Stalker comes in, and I'm just making sure you didn't get yourself in melee on the sidestep. But I'm just making sure that I made 1. I ended up losing 2 guys. I had to take 2 Fury off the stone, which wasn't a big deal. I know those guys are going to come up and snipe shit out, and really right now that was what they could attack.
Yeah,
and
it really was. Your burrowers are underground, so that's not an option. Tuffalo aren't an option; they're too high armor. So hey, stones.
Yeah,
and then I have contesting models.
Yeah, exactly. They need to contest, and you've got to make use of the attacks that you have. Find something to use your attacks on, because if anytime you have an attack and you're not using it, it's just not feeling good.
It's a waste. Yeah. And if you have something a bit higher armor, it's worth the second shot. It's not worth the first. On the Snapfires,
because you want to be able to reposition yourself with the Swift Hunters, and you want to try and get some value out of the model before they're just given away.
Yeah.
So here's where Ben is abusing
the crap out of
So we had some back and forth here on whether or not he thought he could walk 4 and contest.
Yeah,
and it was a big question.
It looked super close. I opted to run the Blightbringer just to make sure.
And for good reason. You were like,
I would have
quarter?
Yeah, about a quarter inch.
Quarter inch?
I needed to run. If I had just walked, it would not have worked.
Yeah, so that's a great time where you, and even so, we're trying to abuse it, but you don't know exactly. You can't figure out exactly. You can't just straight measure it.
I've got 4 inches. I don't have 8. And I can measure 2 off the bringer, but there's still a gap somewhere. Yeah. Because you can't make
in this case a 4 1/4 inch gap.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, which would have been bad.
Yeah, because you can't make 2 measurements at the same time. You have to do 1 at a time. So I can't do both to try to eyeball the gap in between there. I kind of have to look at the template, and God, it gets confusing really quick.
And he absolutely had to contest that flag because right now, a Gatorman will easily kill one guy. The far war spear we see there, who is most likely contesting. He may not be, but he's most likely. I would assume he is, and go and kill him.
Yeah, I think I had 2.
And then on the closer side to us, there were definitely 2 that were two of them. Yeah, there's a few there that are most likely contesting. We know that the Blightbringer's contesting, so we can kind of tell what the others are.
Yeah.
So if the Blightbringer didn't get into contest, he could easily just give up 2 points this turn.
I could have potentially given up 3, really.
Yeah, definitely 3 if I'm
Long
able
Riders
to hit that other flag.
It's like, yeah, if you figure so Gators can kill the War Spears contesting the far top flag fairly easily, or typically. The Strider Deathstalkers are a little bit tougher to deal with, but if you get rid of those and start clearing that flag, you can get there. The middle flag, well, it would involve you not zombifying, which I wouldn't mind, but no, there was. If I didn't get the Blightbringer up there, there was a definite possibility I could be down 3 control points this turn.
Yeah,
and
From your side, not knowing what I'm planning, definitely.
Yeah, and I am trying to be very conscientious of where the hell that Mauler is because screw RFP.
Yeah, he can
I do not want you RFPing my bringer. I want to feed that thing back.
Yeah, he can definitely negate your feet.
Yep.
So Burwers have popped here, and I've got a situation where I'm fairly certain I can get my Rune Bearer over, and Blood Fury the Gatorman posse.
God, why is that spell not faction?
Yeah, but it's a little close. So I measure off of Madrak, and I see I measure 10 inches off of Madrak, and I'm hanging over the base, so I'm fairly certain that the Rune Bearer can get there. So we do a hard measure here. So that's a hard measure of 5, and then Ben's handing me a 6, and he's over an inch.
Yeah.
It was roughly 10 instead of 11.
As well as I think my eye's gotten better than yours, because I was looking at 11 inches between them. I'm like, yeah, you got that.
Yeah. I was a little skeptical of it.
Then again, I've played Circle for so long, I was able to measure 14 inches off an arbitrary point pretty accurately. God, I miss double teleport.
Yeah, double teleport was great when you could go that 14. But...
Yeah, not anymore. With good reason.
So Saxon gave the Gatorman some Pathfinder, which this is kind of a tricky call because I could have saved him to go after that flag. But I wasn't 100% sure that Gatorman. I'm committing 3 Gatorman toward 3 War Spears, and I am praying rerolls.
Gatorman, I was so happy you went out at a wide angle because I'm like, yes, that guy is not within 4. You cannot control that flag now.
Yeah.
And then I think you saw that too, which is why you have the other guy right there.
Exactly. So I was in a situation here where I was like, I don't think I can kill them all. I should have said, I put Blood Fury on them. I am going to kill them all, and just held Saxon to run to the flag after, because the Pathfinder was useful, but not necessary at all.
Maybe to kill the Gatorman, you've got deep boost into my line.
He would have had to kill with just his reach attack.
Yeah.
That's where it was sketchy.
Yep.
And yeah, as you said,
I guy was contesting or not. But.
Yeah, as you said, I could have swung in on that one Gator Man to kill off the central, the one that was just removed.
Yeah.
The questionable thing with him is he had Death Shroud, he had the Draconic Breath, and the Tenacity on him. So he's plus 5 armor.
That was the Tenacity guy.
So that was the one that was like, I need to commit 2 guys to that. And so keeping them all within 4 was a bit trickier. It's something I should have maybe rethought and considered a way to keep them within 4 inches of the flag and get 2 points this turn.
Yeah, also, I think... I don't know if you could have gotten both within half inch and still been able to tag the flag.
4 inches, yeah.
You could have definitely gotten 3 attacks on there, though. One guy with both, the other guy with reach.
Yeah, which may have been the smarter play.
Yeah. And you can't count on cranking damage like you did either.
Yeah, no, like, and I that was the thing. I did not count on that at all.
Nope.
And I overcommitted by a lot because I just one-shot him.
Like, oh, overcommitted by what, 1 Gator?
Well, there was only on the Tenacity guy did I actually need to use more than 1 attack.
Yeah.
So, definite overcommitment at that point. It's like I had 2 attacks on each Gator and only needed to use 1 on all of them except for the 1 Tenacity guy.
Yeah. But at the same time, in terms of scenario play, you've taken out half the unit of spears. I mean, that flank is definitely weaker for it.
Yeah. Because I've been able to hit first, yeah, it's definitely that flank has kind of crippled a little bit.
Because Warcasters and Warlocks don't contest, and that can get rough.
And so Fellcaller, he gave Warcry to the Burrowers, and he went up, attempted to spray. His spray failed. We have a proxy base laid down there for some tough low charges. A tough low impacted
Another
1.
Tight movement.
Yeah, very, very tight movement here. It was the proxy base was definitely needed. The laser was definitely needed.
Yep.
But he was able to get a successful charge in there. Because I need all the attacks I can get on that because their def is so high that you want to make sure that you're hitting them. Like, I only need a 6, but 2 chances out of 6 is far better than 1.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, an impact attack killing the first rider on the way surely did not hurt.
Yeah, did not hurt at all.
But again, it's like every attack you can get, it's completely worth it because this can be a very, very live scenario. You know, in our game, I think it actually really was a very live scenario. It influenced a lot of plays on my side, and I'm pretty darn sure it influenced a lot of plays on your side as well.
Well, going into this, I knew I didn't really have the tools to handle a Blightbringer.
Thank God.
I've got a Mauler in this list, and that's the only thing I really have to RFPM.
Yep. And there I go, triggering your ability to snack for you.
Yep, you gave me a ring that I could walk into and take a point.
Damn it.
So the Mauler is trying to position right now aggressively, like he's not really doing anything. He's just trying to get his positioning set up to, at this point, just kill your Ravagore. Like that's what he's going for. If you give me a Blightbringer, I'll take a Blightbringer, but he's going for a Ravagore at this point.
Yeah, and I don't mind giving up my Ravagore for
the
most part because
you can get the Mauler in return for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that is my plan. If I give up my Ravagore, I'm going to have it set up for a Blightbringer counterpunch. And if I can kill the Mauler, and so goal number 1, kill the Mauler. Then work on some of the tough low, try to get rid of some Burrowers, eliminate anything I consider a threat to the Bringer, and at that point he can just run the table.
Yep.
Unless you jam him, because beat 4.
Yeah, which I was able to jam him out for a while, but
yeah.
Yeah,
for a while, you jammed him pretty well the whole game, really.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, in this game, it was... I didn't think I could actually remove your entire list. Like, I have good attrition options here, but I am much better suited to take this scenario away from you because my list is so much faster than yours.
And you have more independent modules in your list as well to be able to spread out and take this scenario.
Yeah, mine is far less bricky. The list doesn't really fall apart when things spread out.
I mean, Tuffalo, they can very easily be an independent brick of their own. And then the Gatorman setup you've got, they are an independent brick on their own.
So here was one situation where I maybe should have feeded here to remove the war spears that are still alive that survived the initial round from the Tuffalo.
Yeah, I kind of jokingly teased you about it because I didn't think it would be optimal, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of became, oh no, this might not actually be bad.
Yeah, because I think the situation was I essentially would feat for 2 models.
3 models.
3 models.
Yeah. You had 3 war spears that you had multiple attacks on.
Yeah.
2 burrower attacks on one.
It was 3
2
war
on
spears.
Another, 3 on a third one.
And then a long rider attack on 2. So both long riders could attack 1. So it might not have been a terrible play, and in hindsight, it was probably the correct play because it would have allowed me to push deeper in with the burrowers. Because as we see, the burrowers are there in a chunk that they've just gone. They easily removed. They have Blood Fury on them. They easily removed the few war spears that were left there.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, feeding for 3 models in a unit, the point value you're getting out of that is not great in general, but I am
the
playing. Strategic value is worth it.
Yeah, in this game, I'm playing for a specific win condition.
Yeah,
and it would have helped further that win condition. Where, spoiler, I don't use my feet, and when we started this
turns out this ended up being the best turn for it.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, holy shit, I am up on you on clock.
Yep, quite a bit.
We talked about it after the game ended initially that turn 1. After turn 1, I realized I had a bit of a clock advantage on you. After turn 2, I had a very large clock advantage on you, and I just figured, I'm going to play that.
This is like 24 minutes.
But good lord.
Estimating. Yeah, 24 minutes roughly right now.
17 to 40 something.
It was 41. So... Yeah, I definitely need more reps with this to get the clock down. I'm used to having like 9 models to work with instead of here where I'm pushing 30. So the clock was a bit of a pain, though. I felt I had plenty of time to finish it, and I think when this game started, I was making mention of how I have a hard time finding a good time to use his feet, the Madrak feet, because it seems like you get so much out of it. But it's a 10-inch control area.
It's so small.
Yeah,
so small.
It's a 10-inch control area. So like, what can I really get out of it? So that's definitely one of the harder parts of playing it. Finding where you can actually use the feet, and sometimes feeding for three dudes just to get a better board position. That might be the right call. So
it might be. Usually it's not though, because again, we're talking that's a 10-point unit. You kill 5 points on your feet turn, which is supposed to be a bunch of extra attacks and all that. It just seems so counterintuitive.
Yeah, I think our general rule of thumb here is that feet should generally net you 10 points. Like, it should generally get you a 10-point advantage.
18 points with the Blightbringer, I love it.
Yeah, so any feat that can do better than 10 points on average, like, that's obviously a really good feat.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, my feat would net me 5 points, but it would, like, push that engagement line and jam you even further back. Because if burrowers were able to walk at this point forward, they just jam up a Ravagore, jam up the
Ravagore, get a bunch of attacks on the Blightbringer.
On the Blightbringer, yeah. It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, and I was definitely keeping the Ravagore behind that wall just because the burrowers were buried, and I know what they can do when they pop back up. That
I think
miserable.
I think I killed a stalker once with 3 of them.
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It was 3 blood. It was 3 blood fury burrowers, and they just wrecked a stalker. They got lucky on some hits, of course, but they fucking
that still happens.
Stalker.
That still happens. That is glass cannon for you. Good lord. So So here we see the cluster of burrowers being a very, very bad thing.
Blightbringer has just shot him.
Yep.
So this
with
is
Withering Ash, so
no
you're
tough
minus
checks.
2 def and no tough checks. That's the big thing, yeah.
I mean, I'm already minus 2 def from Blood Fury right now, so I'm a whopping def 9.
I know.
Yeah, I'm Blightbringer def right now.
Yeah, I mean, the burrower I shot was largely to clear up space for my War Spears to be able to get on some of your Tuffalo. I did not expect a 5-inch AoE to be that big. Holy crap.
There was actually one dude that if you shot him with just the Ravagore even, and I wanted you to shoot him with the Ravagore, because if you shot him with the Ravagore, you weaken your scenario position.
Yeah, and that's why I went with the Blightbringer first. I knew he was already contesting.
And you had to see how many you could reliably kill before you decide what you're really going to commit.
Yeah.
So, quite a bit. I think 5 went down there? 5 or,
yeah, I think so.
5 or 6, something like that.
I did decent damage to your Tuffalo as well.
Yeah, you boosted on the Tuffalo. Tuffalo got some good damage.
Yeah, I boosted on Tuffalo, and I boosted on the 2 guys that were in the way of the one War Spear being able to charge said Tuffalo.
And again, Ben is
here we go, abusing the shit out of that forage thing. Trying to see, okay, can I get a model over there to contest, get a second model, see that 4 inches is in front of that burrower, knowing, so if I get my chieftain up there, he's contesting. So I have 2 models contesting. I don't necessarily need to commit my Ravagore at this point.
Yep, you're able to get enough burrowers out of the way to be able to get 2 models over there, which, I mean, that's enough to make me commit like a few long riders to them, or...
Exactly. You are so strong on that flank. I was looking at that before as, okay, I've got to get the Ravagore over there. Surprise size of a 5-inch AoE just really, really helped clear that up for me, and then what my War Spears were able to do to Tuffalo, and then your burrowers fleeing.
Yep. The burrowers fleeing meant that I potentially wasn't contesting the center flag either. I've got a Gator there now, but spoiler, the Gator's going to go away.
Yes, he is.
He's obviously in a position where he's going to die.
Yeah. After a little while, I realized, wait, burrowers are fleeing. I don't even have to worry about them. The Gatorman is the only thing contesting that flag. I can score a control point.
Yeah. And at this
How do I score a control point?
You need to do that. You would do this in tournaments anyway, because control points are your number 2 tiebreaker.
They're actually the number 1 tiebreak.
Except in big tournaments where strength of schedule is
that's right. 1. Strength of schedule is number 1 tiebreak.
So, like in local events, I don't think we do strength of schedule in local events.
No, we do strength of schedule.
We do
local.
it. Okay, I can't remember when that was really introduced, where strength of schedule became a thing, but it had been a thing at larger tournaments for quite a while, and then I think it was adopted into the steamroller packet.
Yeah.
But it is one of the big factors that you can actually control in your game. You can't really control strength of schedule other than winning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just win.
There are so many times that strength of schedule gets to the point where you have to go to control points, that you just get them because they are so valuable.
Yeah.
So valuable. Tournament player not. Oh, thank God that Gator was actually within 5.
Yep, so no tough check for him.
Nope. Turns out Blightbringer's really good in a lot of different ways.
He has a nice support factor to him that I'd say outside of the Storm Wall you don't really see. And even the Storm Wall, it's like offensive support. This guy is more of a...
He's a very defensive support.
Yeah, very...
Withering Ash, minus 2 def doesn't really come up on occasion, but the losing of tough. Okay, if you play Trolls, that's huge.
Just in general, I think in a lot of competitive lists, you will see the tough mechanic factored in some way, whether it's Rupert and War Machine or some other factor. Yeah, Witchstock Croc and Hordes. Like people will get it in there because it's an unreliable mechanic. It's a 1 in 3 mechanic that you could do really terrible on.
With Rupert and the Witchstock, it involves a sort of fearless mechanic with it that is worth bringing on its own.
Yeah, definitely.
Rupert being fearless and tough, Witchstock Croc being undead which immediately allows you to rally in tough.
Yeah. So it's a mechanic that you'll see in a lot of competitive lists or tougher lists, and it's a mechanic that you should really consider because it's one more step. Anytime you make your opponent take one more step, it's worthwhile.
Yeah. Even though, and again, it's not reliable. You can't count on it. Dice are dice. They're going to spike high. They're going to spike low. But when it works, it can really work.
Definitely.
Yeah, like you said, one more step. The one dude just stays there a little bit longer. If he's a key piece, like we saw, what was it, my second turn, a tough check stopped the first Strider Deathstalker.
Yep. So
and stuff like that.
Saxon moved up. He shot something. I think he did some damage.
He did. Big thing is he's contesting.
Yeah. I needed him to contest, but also be able to move to that flag to score, because my goal here is that he has not committed anything other than Thagrosh to that side of the table. And
a unit of War Spears that is largely disappearing.
So if the Gators are able to clear the War Spears out, Saxon can just move up the following turn and take a point from you.
Yep.
And Burrowers are running away.
Because
they need to get out of the way.
Running away.
Because they need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So that guy takes a free strike. Like, I don't care about the Burrowers at this point. They have...
that Burrower can move far enough that he's not going to be in the way, period. Might as well take the free strike.
Yeah.
Was it we played a game this past Tuesday where I opted not to take a free strike because the Burrower couldn't move out of the way to be obnoxious to something else.
Yeah, exactly.
So usually it's worth taking the free strike. Sometimes it's not. In this case, yeah, I'm going to take the free strike. Why not?
Free model.
Yeah.
Especially since the Withering Ash Bubble is there and I can't just tough and fall down. So for me, it was fine. I can easily lose the model if he chose to take it. And if he doesn't choose to take it, he's going to get out of the way anyway. So
exactly. No reason not to. God, moving Runebearer into the trench. Oh, man. I did not realize how good of a position that trench was actually in.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be far back, but when you consider my ability to just run charge from that position, it's not in a bad spot at all.
Yeah. I mean, hey, surprise, guys. I set up the table. I kind of do that in general. I'm not a PG yet. Hopefully will be soon, but I put the rough terrain there to try to balance it out, but oh my god, that trench was so good. So good.
Yeah, the trench meant nothing for you, and the hill is way better. The hill and wall were way better for you, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have taken the side that you took anyway as well.
Oh, for sure.
Wall, hill, like it's all within run range of my caster to move and dominate. Like it's a good spot.
This is fine. Yeah, I guess terrain played. Well, the hill didn't really play much of an effect against you because you don't really have guns. I mean, you're using point blank, which is all a melee attack anyway.
So here I was thinking of throwing the Mauler into your Ravagore.
Yep.
And this is something that I thought maybe I should have done. You did have tenacity on him. I needed sixes.
Yeah, I had made mention that there's no way you can get a model on there where the Ravagore isn't going to be effectively armor 21 because of Thagrosh's Death Shroud.
Yeah, Death Shroud and your no +2 armor this time, but armor 19 with tenacity and then 21 with.
Yeah, and figuring it was going to take both your beasts to do it, I'm totally okay having both your beasts kill and RFP the Ravagore if my Blightbringer can get both of them in return.
Yeah, so unfortunately I fumbled a bit here and just threw the Mauler into two models that the Long Riders could have easily cleaned up for me.
Yes, they could have.
So that was definitely a big misplay on my part. So I'm trying to recover by just making it difficult for you to contest. Where the smarter
thing, doing a good thing, for sure.
I mean, it's definitely it's a decent recovery here, but the better play would be let the Long Riders take care of them, and then reposition the Mauler once again. So if you move the Blightbringer to contest this flag, the Mauler can wreck his day.
Yep.
So
but the flip side is, I already know you have the Mauler within charge range of the Blightbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mauler's not in a great area right now.
Yeah. So, already seeing before you had moved the Tuffalo, you had already moved the Axer up to where the Ravagore was. I was looking at, oh my god, the Ravagore is a strengthful beast. This is freaking awesome. The past several games have had me throwing with the Ravagore, because for some reason he also has 2 open fists. It's kind of awesome.
Yep.
I was looking at, okay, I can throw the Axer into the Mauler, get both of them with the Blightbringer. Then move the Tuffalo in the way. So I'm looking at again going, you know what? No, I can still throw the Axer at the Mauler. He's gonna hit the Tuffalo. I'm still okay with that. Because, so throws happen if you would end up contacting a same size or larger base. You stop there.
So he actually threw at the Mauler.
Yeah.
That way he could get the line that he wanted, so that the Blightbringer can come in on both beasts here.
Exactly. Now, Blightbringer can still get melee to the Mauler, the Axer, and I thought he could get both of the Tuffalo in there. Turns out he couldn't really.
Yeah, not quite.
It was still worth throwing the Axer. It's just fun.
Yep, and it also allows you to maintain your position that you have with the Ravagore on that central flag.
He doesn't have to move. That way the Ravagore is still controlling that flag if I kill everything else around it.
Yep.
What, CPs at this point are 2 to 1?
2 to 1. I failed to kill that. Yeah,
there's one War Spear still alive contesting.
The idea was that the Witch Dock was going to run to that flag if I could kill the War Spears off, but I was unable to, and I left him in a pretty bad position where he's at now.
For sure.
I should have moved him up. So that was a bit of a brain fart. Like, I was holding him back until I knew that I had that flag, but he should have moved up, that way he could threaten it sooner.
Yep. Oh shit, we did already miss all the freaking tough checks that Gator made. Good God.
Yeah, the Gator made 5 tough checks, I think.
Yeah.
The War Spear was able
for
to
Draconic Blessing.
Yep.
So that's 4 attacks from Thagrosh.
Yeah, and then
one from the War Spear that finally got it.
So it's 4 tough checks in a row, and the War Spear was the one that finally did it.
God.
And so the Blightbringer comes in. His base is kind of a pain in the ass because his claw and tail hang off. I
just went, screw it, I'm going for the flag. So pro tip: when you declare attacks with the tail of the Blightbringer, you have 360-degree vision. When you charge with that, that means you can face any direction you want. The way it works is you turn to directly face the direction you want to end up. 360 vision, you're directly facing everybody. You charge that, and then you don't get to turn after the charging for rules reasons. If you want the specific rules forum answer for that, actually look up Grail Watcher and the Walled Wrath, because people ask that a few times in there. Anyways, it allows me to position the Blightbringer so that I have front arc to the Gators, if just in case, and everything else, and let's have a nice facing and screw that wall and the Blightbringer's tail.
Yep, so Shredder has to move up to contest because Blightbringer wasn't able to get far enough.
Yep.
So good thing you had one more little guy back there to do this, or else you would have given up a CP, and you don't want to let your opponent score on your turn.
Oh god, no.
It's the worst thing.
No.
Because it's essentially giving up 2.
Yeah, exactly. And at 13 boxes, at least the Shredder is a decent enough piece to be able to contest. And I thought about tenacity the Bringer beforehand, but I figured, you know what,
killing the Long Rider's better.
Exactly. That's what they're actually called. I've been calling them Tuffalo because I don't remember what their actual name is.
I think Tuffalo is just what everyone calls them.
I know, right?
So back over to me. So unfortunately, at this point, I think I actually have the game. I thought the game was over here, but it turns out you can't dominate for 2 anymore. It's
it's been over a year, man.
Yeah, well, we hardly ever see this scenario, so we'll just go with that. if you go to 5-round tournaments, you'll never see this scenario. People will just not play Incursion because Incursion is
kind of a pain to set up.
Well, it's
one of the most disliked scenarios.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely has its issues. So my plan kind of goes out the window, and I'm definitely feeling the time now because I've screwed up in not checking how many points you can get with a dominate. So without the dominate option, I have to rethink here, and I definitely get my other point to go to 3.
Oh yeah.
But I've got to now I just have to get something on the flag to control it. So I'm already in a position where I can get my 3rd point.
Yeah.
But I have to think about a 2-point turn.
Yeah. But thankfully you did take a min unit of stones. So
yeah. Wait. So I still had 3 guys left, which means they're above 50% at this point. They've lost 2. So
yep.
They're able to get up there, get on the flag, and take a point. So I don't have to commit Madrak yet at this point.
Exactly. Because yeah, committing Madrak means, hey, the Blightbringer's right here.
Yeah, I'm fine committing Madrak if it's a 2-point dominate and I win. I'm not fine.
Oh yeah. If you win, who cares?
Yeah, I'm not fine if he has to survive a turn while doing that.
Yeah.
That's a bit more of a problem. So my thinking where I had plenty of time to finish this game out has kind of gone out the window a bit. And so I'm just making the attacks that I can make, and thinking about what I can do for the following turn to get a 2-point turn. Since I couldn't have a 3-point turn, I needed a 2-point turn next turn.
I was like, at this point, I know you're running the Witch Rock to be able for him to come up to control the flag next turn. That way you have Saxon available to attack.
Yeah. So I've got
I still have the Chieftain left on 1 box.
Yeah, he had 1 box, which was no bueno. I've got a few burrowers left.
God for me.
Yeah, definitely. Got a few burrowers left that can just kind of try and limit your movements. Like that's all the Long Rider's doing. He's just limiting movements.
Oh yeah.
And even this setup here that I have with the stone, they're just limiting your movement options as well.
Exactly. And
Runebearer moves just within 4, so he can contest. And unfortunately, I only have 50 seconds left.
Yep. And I've got almost 17 minutes, and
yeah,
I have plenty of time.
Ben has plenty of time. My idea of ending at that turn was kind of thrown out the window when I read the rules, or you told me the rules rather.
Yeah.
Didn't read it. So
again, this is a book scenario. It has changed so many times. I kind of feel sorry for playtest groups that I've heard have tried to remember, wait, which model does what? This model does this thing now? It's like, this is kind of the same thing. This has gone, this exact scenario is in the basic rulebook.
Yep, it was, they call it middle ground or something like that?
Something like that.
Or was it still called Incursion?
I don't think it's called Incursion. It's called something else.
I haven't looked at that book scenario in such a long time because those things
it might have
so
been
bad.
50mm scenarios in the book, but
same basic idea with 3 flags.
Exactly.
I mean, the flags have moved out more. They moved in more. That they used to disappear. Yeah. Only the outside ones could disappear.
Exactly. Now none of them disappear again, and now there's the offset deployments. Oh my gosh!
Lots of changes to the scenario because the scenario used to be able. In the past, you could win this very easily with this scenario, like your standard I break the game scenario caster, like Denny 2, Haley 2, and Kruger 2. Those 3 being the main offenders.
Exactly. But on that note, I do not recommend playing any rulebook scenario.
Yeah.
10-10 deployment, and with how fast scoring starts, it just equates to first player wins.
Yeah, because of 10-10 and how scoring starts. Yeah. Either first player wins or you're playing 8 turns.
Pretty much.
Yeah, one or the other. And Ben's cheating here. He's throwing models all over, throwing walls all over. And welcome to having a huge base.
Welcome to having a huge base with parts of it that spill over the base, and it just becomes damn near impossible to actually position anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's good old PP. We're going to put centerpiece models for you to put on the table, right? We're going to release those for you.
Yeah.
But when you play them, you need a proc space.
Well, let's ignore our own conversion rules, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate the Seraph model.
Yeah.
I hate the new Seraph models so much.
Even their warrior models, if they have pointy bits, it just fucking hangs out, and they can't charge straight.
Very rarely are their arc marks actually their true facing, because you have to actually get them to the position you want, and forget shield wall.
My burrowers are like that all the time, because even though they're not position weird or whatever, but it's just like they look like they're facing this way, but they actually face this way because of their arc marks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that.
Well, I mean, Titans. We saw your Toffolo do it, the Long Rider do it earlier. It's just reverse facing because I can actually fit the model where I want it to be.
Yeah, because a buffalo head hangs over and axe points out, anything like that, and it just kind of throws off where you go.
Yeah.
Mahler's arms were all over the place. In this game. He was just he's like knocking everything over. So there's plenty of models that are examples of this.
That being said, I still love the Blightbringer model. And the Blightbringer itself, I freaking love the look of that thing.
So there, I run out of time. So what had happened? I do go to 4 CPs. I had a potential to go to 5 CPs. I needed a solid 2 minutes to do it, though.
Yeah, you needed to kill the Shepherd and the Ravagore.
Yeah.
I didn't measure to the Ravagore. I didn't know if he was actually contesting or not. So I made sure the previous turn to run the Shepherd into contest range just to make sure I didn't give up that flag.
Yeah, so I checked the Ravagore. He was in range, of course.
Thank God, lucky!
Because if he's not in range, I just have to throw 2 axes at the Shepherd, and it's game over at that point. But the Ravagore's in, which means I needed a solid 2 minutes to be able to put in the attacks on the Ravagore to kill it, which I could have with Madrak. And then a burrower needs to get incredibly lucky and hit one of 2 10s to kill a Shepherd.
If you hit the point blank 10, you win right away.
Yeah.
If you hit the
10 on the pickaxe, you need to roll a 6 on 3 dice. Which
Charge. Blood Fury.
Charge.
Yeah, God. Either one of those. God damn it.
Either one of them. Yeah, it's so I thought that game was good. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it felt very close. I didn't feel super far ahead, except for time.
Yeah.
But even then,
the scenario pressure was definitely on.
Yeah, there was a definite risk of losing on scenario, even with the time advantage I had. Yeah, good game.
Yeah, I've definitely liked Madrak 2 a bit more. I think he might have more matches that he can play just based on the scenario pack, and that he can actually be fairly good in the scenario game.
Oh, yeah.
Using his feet, still a tricky thing. Navigating the infantry, still a tricky thing. But, he's something different than Runes of War EE or Runes of War and Grim that you can play. Yeah, still fairly good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just still enjoying that Fags 1 list.
Yeah.
I have no doubt the clock advantage I have is because I've played that list so much more than you've played this Madrak 2 list.
Yeah, I think the Thags 1 falls apart if it hits Runes of War. I haven't played Runes into it yet, though, so
we need to do that one.
We may have to try it, because Ben thinks it can be a Runes of War fixer, which Legion kind of needs. But I think...
At least a challenger. I don't know about fixer, but challenger at least.
Yeah, I think Veil 2, Machinations of Shadows, is the best Legion drop into it. And this is just coming from just my view on Legion, because I too play Legion. And how I like playing Legion is just 5+ heavies. I like having beasts, and you're playing more infantry than I really care to. But I think
1 unit of Hex Hunters is more infantry.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a unit in there? What blasphemy is this?
They look so good on paper.
Yeah, they do. But this double Blightbringer, or this double War Spirit list.
Double Blightbringer, oh god.
It's a nice beast brick, or brick, not beast brick, but brick, I think. It's a nice brick. Can it outbrick the ultimate brick of Runes of War, though?
I don't know.
I'm skeptical of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. We need to play it and see. My gut tells me that it can't beat Runes, but I'm sure I can prove that wrong.
I think it actually depends largely on Rune Shaper placement.
Scenario maybe as well.
Scenario maybe, but the reason I mentioned the Rune Shaper placement is because where they are can help determine where I put the Blightbringer AoE.
Well,
because if I can tag a Rune Shaper with the AoE, which gives me the strength benefit onto your beasts, I'm totally going to take that instead of shooting your beast.
So the way I actually envision that game going is the Rune Shapers are held back.
Yeah.
Because
that would be the smart player.
Yeah, you lead with the Beast Brick on this, and you say, here's my Beast Brick. My Beast Brick out-threats your Blightbringer, and it really doesn't care about your War Spears. Even if you bump up your War Spears to maximum power, they're dice -5 or dice -6 with the ranged attacks.
Well, never mind Trembler. It's you keep them back. So
exactly. Then they move up.
They can just move up.
I'm no longer engaged.
Suck it.
Yeah. I don't worry about your defense. I don't worry about you engaging me. Anything like that.
Yep.
And then you can just clean up and take out a Blightbringer. Also, you have 3 things that can RFP it, which is
that's the other thing that scares the crap out of me for that.
So I think you're right. Rune Shaper placement would do it, and if you play Runes of War, what you have to think about with Runes of War is, do I lead with my beasts or do I lead with my Rune Shapers? Yeah. We played a game on Miranda's channel, Wargamer Girl, where I led with Rune Shapers versus your Kruger 2 list. That's a game we've played many times.
Yes.
That's gone both ways, and I have developed a strategy to counter your feats.
God damn it, yes.
And so it always comes down to, I counter Ben's feat, do I give him an assassination or not? If I don't, I win. If I do, he wins.
God, and you had an awesome wall to hide behind in that game too. So anybody watching our channel, I have no doubt you have already seen that game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we've definitely had some good ones in tournaments that would have been great to see.
I know.
But
who knows? Maybe upcoming I can start recording some of our tournaments in general.
Yeah, those are fun because there might be a few other people around that can talk shit to us while we're trying to play it,
or talk shit to us while we're recording and they're watching our game.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we've crossed the hour mark again. Well, thanks for watching again, guys. I guess same spiel as always. Please like, subscribe, follow. Yeah.
Share.
Yeah.
Share with your friends.
That'd be awesome. It's a lot of fun for me to make this, at least. Anyways, have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Best kind of cheating. Best kind of cheating.
I know, right? It's like, does 4 inches actually get me contest range?
Flags are so busted in this pack. They're so busted in this pack. I love abusing them too.